an expert in ERP SaaS implementation with SaaS of 15 years of experience helping SMEs streamline their operations, reduce cost, scale efficiently. In this episode, we will explore how ERP system, automation, connect technologies can transform everyday business. Hello, everyone. Today, welcome to another episode of Vector Art Podcast, where we dive into the conversation with business leaders, innovators, creators who shaping the future of through strategy, technology, and design. I'm your host, Rohit Jaiswal, and today we are heading over London, United Kingdom, to speak to someone who's truly understand how small, mid-sized business can grow smarter through technology. Joining me in Nathan Wisniewski, an expert in ERP SaaS implementation with SaaS of 15 years of experience helping SMEs streamline their operations, reduce cost, scale efficiently. In this episode, we will explore how ERP system, automation, connect technologies can transform everyday business challenges into opportunities for growth and innovations. Nathan, it's great to have you with us here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rohit. Great to be here.
The first question, you helped SME implement ERP and SaaS solution in 15 years. What are the biggest operational challenges you see in small and mid-sized business you're facing today, and how can technology help them solve it?
The challenges have not really changed for a good 10 to 15 years. Just the technology that we've used has changed.
Right.
So when I go into a company and I see how they work, a lot of the time we don't really know what's going on within the business. So it's more of a lack of visibility than anything else. It's kind of
Right.
the website's not talking to the CRM, sales
Right.
doesn't know what operations are doing. So that's where I think that ERP can be a really powerful tool and to implement into the business, because your ERP is kind of the heartbeat of the company. So
Right.
you're going to be able to integrate your website, CRM, operations,
Right.
sales, accounting, everything from start to finish in one place. And
Wow.
that's going to give you kind of the insights to be able
Uh-huh.
to make the best decisions going forward, because you've got all your data in one place rather
Right.
than 100 different spreadsheets. Nobody knows what's going on.
True.
And
True.
so that's kind of one of the main things there.
It's all that, right?
And then off the back of that, there's also, once you have a system like that in place, you can build upon it. So using integrations and automations that we'll get onto a bit further down the conversation. But yeah, it's the key of it is it's just kind of a lack of what's going on within the business and kind of who's doing what really. And there's a lot of time to be saved there.
I see that you solve problem, guys. When you give ERP to any organization, you're really not giving a solution, you're solving a problem for life for him. So he
That's
can go
it,
to
yeah.
ladder. The second question, maximizing ERP value. How many business already have system in place? What are some common mistake or identifiable features in ERP system that companies should be aware to get more value?
So there's one key thing that I've taken away from all my years,
Mhm.
and I've worked on support teams before and account managed. And when I work with my clients now, I ask them the same question. When is the last time you spoke to your software provider? Because that's what they're there for. At the end of the day, have you kind of said to them, oh, what can the system do? What can it do for us now? Because a lot of the time you'll have put a system in place 5, 10 years ago, and it won't have been updated, and you won't think to yourself, oh, what can it do in
Right, right.
2025, 2026? So the key thing I would say to
Mhm.
anybody that's already got a system, just spend 5, 10 minutes, give them a call and just say, can we sit down for an hour and
Mhm.
discuss about what the system can do today in 2025 and how
Right.
I can implement that into my business to
Mhm.
make things quicker, whether that be other certain automation tools.
Got
So
it.
there's this one system I looked at last week, and it had a really cool option where when an order had been completed, what it
Mhm.
would do, it would send out a survey to the client. And when
Right.
the clients filled that in, that survey would come directly into the system, and every single customer would have a star rating. And if the customer went below 3.5 stars,
Okay.
then their account manager will get an email to say, this customer's gone below 3.5, give them a call just to see what's going on to help retain
Right.
that client. So it's kind of
Right.
clever things like that you wouldn't know unless you'd had that conversation. that's possible.
I mean, that's what possible. You retaining the client from the review, you taking care of the brand, like you take care of a baby, a small baby in your house.
Yeah.
And that's how you value what you currently have. Appreciate it, Nathan. The third question, automation and integration are a hot topic right now.
Yes.
How SME leverage automation and connect tool to save time, reduce errors, improve efficiency.
Yeah. So the first question is, can your current system allow for integrations? So a lot of
Right.
systems now, they'll have APIs built in, and that'll allow systems to speak to each other, whether it's a CRM speaking to an ERP, a website speaking to a CRM, it just creates that connection. Now, if your system doesn't have that, it's not the end of the world. There are tools that you can use. So there are things that sit in the middle of systems. So tools like Make, Zapier is a big one,
Yeah.
NA10. So what they
Yeah.
will do is they will sit in the middle of your systems and make sure that they can talk to each other so that you're
Right.
not having to rekey data multiple times, because that's the thing that we see is a massive time saver. When you've got a lot of different systems, it's
Right.
right, I've typed that customer into my CRM, it then needs to be typed into my accounting system, and then so on, and you're having to duplicate work. So there's massive time savings to be had by just connecting those systems together.
Right.
Now, in terms of the automation point, I would say before you even start looking at automation, your processes have got to be solid. So
Right.
if, let's say, for example, I've got a website and somebody orders a hat or 100 hats.
Mhm.
Um, when that order comes through, if I've
Right.
got that product for that hat tagged against a supplier, what I can
Right.
then do is say, right, the order will drop in automatically from my website into my system. If it's
Wow.
got that supplier tagged, it knows and automatically raises the purchase order, sends it off to the supplier so that they can do the printing, fulfillment, automatically ship it directly to the client, and the client's already been invoiced because it's been paid for on the website. So
Wow.
something like that where it would have taken like maybe 3 or 4 people, a ton of phone calls. It's just automatically in place for you from,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Right. If a customer sends any email for revision or automation, there is involved. There is a solution for everything. Right.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. Now, there's one automation example that I saw a couple of weeks ago, and I thought this was absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
So, this is from a UK-based printer. So, what they've got set up is when the artwork's approved, then Zapier will pull the artwork files from Artworker straight to the printing press without
Wow.
anybody having to do anything. And then it gathers all the job data from PrintLogic, and then it automatically prints the job sheet and
Wow.
makes the job complete. So again, something where it would take a few different people time, it automatically does it. And I think it's easy to get trapped in the weeds with all this kind of integration automation because it's
Right.
fantastic getting all this time back. But what do you do with that time? And that's where the growth comes in. You can grow and you can do what people are good at doing,
That's where
i.e.,
we're talking about growth.
work
Growth.
working with the clients and
Yes.
growing as a business together.
Yes. Yeah, that is right, my friend. You are a key to any organization to solve. You have a problem, Nathan can solve it.
That's it. That's what I like to think anyway. That'd be nice.
Yeah, man. The fourth question, scaling and through e-commerce. For business looking to scale online e-commerce, what are the key consideration when integration an e-commerce platform with an ERP system?
Yeah. So the first thing that you need to ask is one, can it integrate? So it
Right.
needs to be a yes. So whatever system you're using, whether that be Shopify,
Ah,
WordPress, Magento, whatever website platform you're using for e-commerce, you need to
right.
make sure it works with your system.
True.
And then off the back of that, you also need to make sure you're getting the information that you need. So can it push product data? So that's one
Right.
of the things. So I've worked on over 200 website projects in my time.
Wow.
And I know one of the things that is the kind of the most time consuming thing is getting the product data onto that e-commerce website. So one of the things that I always like to make sure is whatever system we're using, can we push the product data from
Right.
the system into the website? Otherwise, you're spending days putting spreadsheets together, and nobody likes that.
Nobody
I
like
don't
that.
like that. So the next thing is kind of getting the customer data in there. So without a customer record, you can't push the order
Right.
into the system. There's the order data itself, and then there's also stock records as well. So if you keep stock and inventory in your system, push that data up to the website so your clients know, oh, there's 10 in stock. I know I can order the 10 that I want, or it's out of stock, so I can place a back order. So it's just kind of getting that information. And it's another one of those things again where if your customer didn't know what your stock levels were, it's another phone call. It takes another 15 minutes to go
Right.
through that. And it's a really nice feature for your client to have. And then there's a ton of other stuff as well in terms of the print and promo industry. So, for example, can the website allow for your artwork to be uploaded as part of the
Right.
order process? So you're going to need that. Is it going to allow for your tax options? So in the UK, we've got 20% tax, 0% tax. So for children's clothing, for example, if you're doing apparel, you'll need to make sure you can tag those products with 0% just so that it's all compliant.
Apparel.
And then also, is it going to integrate with the right payment provider for you? So a couple of big ones that we've got is Stripe, PayPal. So you need to make sure you can actually get the payments.
Right.
And then also the delivery side as well. So is it going to integrate with your delivery provider, whether that be Royal Mail, FedEx, UPS? So a whole host of questions you need to have with your provider just to make sure that you're picking the right option for you. Once you've got it in place, it's an insanely powerful tool because that website then becomes your salesperson.
Right.
So for people that you've already built a relationship with, the website's there to take those orders. And then you can focus again on growing, which is the important bit.
True. Thank you so much. A lot of insights in the last question was future trends. Looking ahead, what trends are emerging technologies do you see shaping the future of SME operations, and how can business prepare to stay ahead, Nathan?
So I'm going to say, well, 2 letters here, AI. It's absolutely massive. Everybody's talking about it. And there's a few different ways that you can use AI. Now, in my ERP, I've got AI straight in there so I can use it. So what I tend to do is all of my emails and correspondence with my clients are in my ERP system. And all I have to do is type into my AI what product will work best for this client, because it already knows my client from my conversations. And then what it'll do is say, oh, we think a new website will be good for this client. So I can then reach out to them and say, oh, have you thought about this? So it's insights like that that you don't really get, or you'd have to spend ages going through emails to figure out what might work for that client, when all it is you can type it in and then there's the information for you. So you know what to give your client. So whether that be a new website, whether that be a new product range that you've got coming out, just so you know what's best to provide them. On top of that, also, I've seen some personal shoppers. So this is more down the e-commerce route. So you'll have a pop-up on a website and they'll be like, oh, how can we help? And you can type in, for example, oh, I want 500 notebooks with a 2-color print. And then it will show you the products which will give you that. So it's like personal shoppers, so that you're not having to kind of give anybody a call. You can find the information you need, place the order, and then get on with your day.
Right.
In terms of agentic AI, so that's becoming quite big, and it has been for a few years. So that's where you've got a chat box and you can type in to the chat box, for example,
Or you can live chat with your clients, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, so you can live chat with the clients, but you can also say, for example, on a system, create me a quote for this client, and it'll create the quote and send it. So you can kind of tell it whatever you want it to do. And then the last thing is kind of automated document processing. So that's kind of really big right now. So I've recently partnered with a company based in Norway, and they're using AI to automatically process purchase invoices.
What is the company name of Norway?
So the company name of that is ECIT.
All right.
So we're currently looking to deliver that in the UK to process automated invoices. So right now that's got a success rate of 98.8%. And then the rest of them are done manually by support team. So it's 100%. So rather than you spending 10 minutes putting a purchase invoice on, this will automatically do it for you. So it's a great tool.
Beautiful. It was great chatting with you, Nathan. It was a great session. Anybody get in touch with Nathan, I'll flash the email address on the screen so that people can get in touch with Nathan. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.